Hello everyone, we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to our Boxmode webinar. My name is Vlad and I work at Boxmode.com. We are going to start in a moment. Let's wait a bit for those who are running late. Also, let me know if you can hear me okay. And just write something in the chat if you can hear me. And I would like to mention that there is around 10 seconds broadcast lag between what I do and when you hear and see it. There might be some communication delay. So how are you? Where are you from? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hello Chris, thanks for joining. MRIH Legal, thanks for being here. Hello Alex. Hi Mary. Well, I think we can start. Hello wonderful people, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. My name is Vlad and I'm a part of marketing team at Boxmode. And today we are going to talk about how to build a website for your handyman business. And let me know if we have handyman professionals today in the chat. I hope we do. Hello John, thanks for joining. And in the meantime, let me say a couple of words about us, about the Boxmode. We are a young website building platform, and we believe that creating websites must be accessible to anyone, regardless of any formal training in web design or web development. And we provide a set of easy to use and intuitive tools that will help you to create and maintain professional looking website in the shortest amount of time. And all these tools can be accessed from your internet browser. And during this webinar, you will see how easy and relatively fast it is to build and publish a great looking website. Let me check the chat. Okay, so as the webinar suggests, we are going to build a website for a handyman business, but at the same time, lots of concepts that we'll be covering today can be applied to building a website for any other purpose. So representatives of all businesses and all occupations and all trades might find the information during this webinar useful. So, this is a webinar structure. First, we'll answer the question of why having a website is beneficial, and then we'll start building a website using Boxmode tools. And along the way, we'll be covering some of the basic web design considerations. And don't worry, it's going to be really simple. We have scheduled around 30 minutes for the main part, and after this, I'll answer your questions. So what are the benefits of having a website? And I'm sure that you're aware that there are lots of benefits since you came to this webinar and are willing to build a website, but let me name a couple. So the website, it improves your business visibility on the web. And nowadays, if you are not on the web, it is equivalent to you not existing. In this day and era, individuals and organizations are on their mobile devices, searching the web for information, for people, for services, for businesses, and if you're not there, no one will find you. So also the website serves as information resource. Why do you think individuals visit the website? It's primarily to discover information, to learn about your experience in the niche, to see your work results, success stories, testimonials. There will be many customers that would rather visit your website to learn about your business as opposed to driving to a physical location on a cold, rainy day to read about services that you provide. So they can simply discover what they're looking for on your website, which provides all they need at their fingertips. So also website can save you money on advertising, and if you ever advertise your business through different medias like printed media, radio or TV, you know it can be very costly and it might not reach your target audience. And advertising is necessary to grow any business. When you have a website, you'll be able to use digital marketing, and digital marketing is less costly way to promote yourself, and it could be very precise in targeting a relevant audience. Also, a website can help you to grow your customer base, because most businesses have local prominence or popularity, being that they have been around for quite a while and get quite a few referrals from past clients. But what about customers outside your district or maybe city? A website will help you to reach a greater audience. So now that we are on the same page regarding why a website is important, let's start building one. So let's go to the boxmode.com. Registration is simple. It requires entering only email and the password. I already have an account, so just log in. And it all starts with choosing a template. Of course, we can start building a website from the ground up using the blank theme, but using a template will ease this process, and it will make it way faster, because the template sets a strong framework of what is expected to be a website in terms of design, in terms of content and sections. And templates were designed by professionals, and there are a lot of tiny details that are taken into consideration that could easily be omitted if you're not familiar with web design. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we'll examine some of the web design rules and principles during this webinar, because in my experience working with clients, I noticed that even when using powerful tools for building websites, one can still make bitter mistakes that could lead to an amateurish website appearance, and knowing a tiny bit of web design will help to avoid them. And since most websites have lots of things in common, and regardless of the business niche, technically we can take any template and customize it. But if you choose a template specifically dedicated to your use case, it will make the customization process even faster. So let's say we are building a website for plumbing service. And for this template, for this use case, let's grab this template. We can check how it looks using this preview mode. And as we can see, it uses clean and simple design. And it uses blue color as the main color, and blue color, according to the color theory, is associated with dependability. That is why many big companies like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, they use this color as their main color because it's about reliability, which one of the main traits of any good business. So let's start customizing this template. And here's this template in the edit mode, and this is so-called hero section or above the fold section, and this name comes from printed media. It is a starting point where the website visitors begin their journey on your website. So it must be interesting and make user want to explore your website further. So the hero section usually consists of a logo and a company name. And I'm curious if you already have a logo, let me know in the chat. Also, the hero section must contain the main navigation menu and a means to get back to you, such as a phone number. And we don't want our website visitors to spend time trying to find where the phone number is. So it has to be among the first things that the website visitor will see. Also, it must contain the main message that answers the user intent and call to action. Yeah. So designers, when working on templates, they use different little tricks to capture visitors' attention. For example, a picture of a person on the background is one of the ways to stir up the interest. And this block of text is placed to the left of the person to create a sense of visual balance. The main text is bigger than everything else and it demands the most attention. So the message here must be important. So how can we customize the elements of our template? And in order to change something, we need to click on the element we want to customize and we will see the list of possible options. If we want to change the text, let's click on the edit and write something different here. Oops. Say in dollars. Okay, let me check the chat. Thanks for being active in and answering my question. Those of you who don't have a logo or are not sure whether they need a logo, let me name a couple of benefits of having one. Logo is a foundation of your brand identity, and it separates you from your competitors, and it helps to foster brand loyalty. So it could be something worth thinking about. And let's get back to our text. So there are several considerations that we need to keep in mind when working with the text on the website in general. And let's go back to our presentation and examine some of these things. We can roughly divide them into reader's perspective, SEO considerations, and design aspect. So let's start with the reader's perspective. So writing for the web is different from writing a book or an article. Long-winded sentences and explanations are often found in academic textbooks and romance novels, but they're really not appropriate on the web page. Long blocks of text and long paragraphs are difficult to read on the web pages. So to increase the readability of your web page, be concise and use short sentences and explanations, and use colloquial language without any sophisticated wording and professional jargon that is difficult for ordinary people to understand. And if there is some terminology that you need to use, you can supplement it with explanatory illustrations. Also, check spelling and grammar. Unfortunately, many websites, they contain misspelled words, and this could be a really major deterrent. So be sure to proofread and test your website thoroughly. And it is always easier to find someone else's mistake than your own, so you can ask your friends or colleagues to check your website out before going live. So the second aspect to pay attention to is related to search engine optimization. So one of the benefits of having a website is that it will allow you to get search traffic from search engines, and before you can appear in search engine results, the so-called search engine crawlers must find and analyze the content of your website to understand what your website is about. And after that, when someone will search the service that you provide, the search engine might serve your website as a result. So the content on your website, it must be written using the keywords that you would like your website to be found in Google search and other search engines. But at the same time, do not stuff keywords unnaturally, because it will not look good from a reader's perspective, and it will not win you any rankings in search, and it will backfire. And if you would like to learn more about how you can determine which keywords your target audience uses to find services you provide, you can check out our article that we wrote in our blog on keyword research, and I'll ask my colleague to share this article in the chat. So, and the third aspect to pay attention to is design. The readable text is crucial for providing content of value for your website visitors. And you may be wondering how to know whether a web page is easy to read. And to ensure that the web text is easy to read, we need to carefully consider the typeface, the font weight, and the font color when selecting fonts for our web pages, and also the line width. So a couple of words about font typefaces. There are two main categories of font: serif font and sans serif font. So the serif fonts, these are the fonts that have the small strokes or extensions at the end of the letter. They were originally developed for printing text on paper and not for displaying text on computer monitors. And serif typeface are usually used for more traditional purposes that encourage long reading and storytelling. And the sans serif typeface, they are more neutral looking, they're more clean and simple, and researchers show that sans serif fonts are easier to read than serif fonts when displayed on a computer screen. So for body text, it is better to use the sans serif fonts, these fonts without the strokes. Also, we must pay attention to the font weight, because bolding everything like this, it has the same effect as bolding nothing, because it does not create any visual contrast. And be careful to bold only the important text and not to bold everything. Another thing to remember is the color contrast. So make sure that there is a good contrast between the foreground text and the background. As you can see, the text with the blue text on the orange background, it doesn't look very good and it's not really readable enough. And there are lots of such color combinations that produce bad contrast. Nowadays, we can easily find online tools that will help us to verify the level of contrast. You can just Google color contrast checker and grab any search result. And if you're not sure whether your text is readable enough, you can plug in the color that you want to test, like for example this greenish, and you will get the contrast ratio. And according to so-called WCAG guidelines, the required contrast ratio has to be at least 4.5 to 1. So that you can see that this green color on the white background produces bad contrast and should be avoided. Also, pay attention to the line length. It is recommended using between 45 to 90 characters per line for readability. And when it comes to determining the length of a line, you can apply common sense. You can ask yourself, is it hard for the eye to travel from the left to the right without losing focus? And if the line is too long, it's going to make it very hard for the eye to find where the next line starts, and it will make the overall reading experience unpleasant. Also, pay attention to alignment. The paragraph of text that is centered is more difficult to read than the left-aligned text. Of course, section name and section description could be centered, like you can see here. But when you have a chunk of information, it is better to be left-aligned like this. So, these are some of the basic considerations that we need to keep in mind. But we just barely scratched the surface, and there is a lot more to this. And all these design aspects like fonts, font sizes, font families, font colors, and line length, and many other things that we haven't covered, everything was thought out by professional designers. And when we use a template, you can focus your attention mainly on readers and SEO perspectives. And web design and search engine optimization are very big and important subjects, and if you're interested to learn more about them, you could check out our blog. So in our blog, we discuss under different angles, in layman's term, how to build an online presence. And also we had a webinar where we talked about some of the SEO basic concepts, and I'll ask my colleague to share respective links in the chat so you can check them out after the webinar. So let's continue customizing our template armed with the aforementioned knowledge. So we have changed the text here, and also we can change this font using this drop-down menu and choosing a different font like this. And another thing to remember on the top of what we discussed is to be consistent with fonts and to not use more than 2 or 3 different fonts for all pages across your website, because consistency is a critical component of a good design. And all these tools that you can see here, they should look familiar to you if you ever use Google Docs or Microsoft Office, so you know how they work. And all other text throughout the template can be customized using the same way, so I won't be wasting your time changing everything, and it is better to spend it on something more useful. Okay, as for this main navigation menu, it also can be customized easily. We just need to click on it, click on settings, and here we can see a list of main navigation menu items. So basically we can add new items here, we can remove items, we can connect these items to existing pages of our website, or we can just connect them to external links. All tools here should look also self-explanatory and easy to use. And I think we can leave other things on this hero section as it is and move on to another section. On the home page, obviously, we want to say a couple of words about our company. But to not overcrowd our home page, we can be concise here, and the more detailed information can be added to the About Us page that is specifically dedicated to this purpose. And we will examine how we can switch to edit mode of other pages of the website in a moment. So also it is good to provide your website visitors with a form where they can submit their question or share feedback, because some people prefer texting over calling, and also it will help you to grow the email database of your clients. So this form has 2 fields now. And if you want to change that, we can go to the form settings. Here we can add new fields, and there are different input types that can be added to the form. Let's say we want to add an email. We just need to click on it like this. And let's go to the settings of the form. We can add a placeholder. The placeholder is basically the name of the field that gives users instructions on what to enter in this field. Also, we can make this field required. And in the field subsection, we can customize the way form looks in terms of design. In the button submenu, we can customize the submit button, the text, and the design of the button, as well as the text that the users will see after the form submission. So basically, we can thank them for reaching out to you. And in Send Data To subtab, you can customize the email to which messages submitted through this form will be sent to. By default, it's going to be the Boxmode. The email that you use during the registration. In my case, it's Boxmode email, and also you can integrate with the MailChimp like this. So basically, you have full control over the how form looks, how many fields it has, but do not force yourself, your visitors to answer too many questions, because it might be irritating. So let's move on to another section, and as you can see, there is a sharp contrast in terms of background color, which suggests the start of a new section. So this section about the services that we offer, which is the must-have section, and we already know how to change the text, yes, but how can we change the image? It's really simple. In order to change the image, we need to click on it. We need to click on Edit, click on Image Text, and right here, change image. And we can drop file from the computer, or we can upload images from the Unsplash, which is integrated with the Boxmode. And we can just type whatever image we are looking for. For example, this one. We can pick any image we like. It offers us a seemingly uncountable number of different pictures to choose from. Let's take this one. And the image will be automatically adjusted to fit the container size. And if you don't like the way the image was adjusted, you can change it by using this crop option and using the zoom and display the part of the image you want, like this. So other images of this section can be customized by following suit. So I think we can move on. And here we can see why choose us section. And every business have competitors, and people, when deciding which product or service to choose from, they might want to learn why they need to choose you over someone else. So letting them know about your unique offers and advantages up front can help you to win a customer. The section itself, it consists of text and image content that we already know how to customize. As for this read more button, we can link it to a page with more detailed information about us. To do this, we need to click on it, click on the link option, and put here the URL of respective page. It is a good idea to not put every single detail on the home page, because too many content will slow down the page loading speed and make the overall user experience negative. And also it will have a negative impact on search rankings. So we need to keep our homepage concise and engaging at the same time. So let's move on to another section. Your website visitors are making decisions on whether or not they take action on your website within a matter of seconds. And the visual content on your website, it plays a crucial role in keeping your potential clients engaged and moving them through the buying process. And having your work results presented in the appealing visual form will tip the scales in the favor of a positive decision. And we have a gallery widget that will help you to organize and showcase the results of your work. And before adding this widget, let's first remove the standard block of photos. So in order to remove something, we just need to click on it and click on this trash bin icon. Every change you do on your website is getting auto-saved, and if you did something by mistake, you can always undo it by clicking on this back option. To add a new item on the page, we have this menu. We need to click on it, and here we can see a list of basic elements we can add, and a list of widgets such as slideshow, form, map. So let's pick the gallery. Let's grab it and drop it here like this. So gallery widget comes in different layouts, and you can choose different layouts in this drop-down menu and see which one you like more. In order to customize images of the gallery, we need to go to the settings, and here we can add new items, we can delete items, we can substitute the stock images by going to change media and upload an image from computer or from library, the way we already did. Also in the format, we can open image in a lightbox, and lightbox, it opens image in a centered overlay, and it dims the rest of the page when image is clicked on. So it makes it easier for users to look closer to the image without zooming in the browser. So that's how it looks. Let's go back here. Also in the format submenu, you can add a nice hover effect on the image, and also you can add a text, title and description like this. So by using this widget, it is easy for you to share your work results, and they can speak for themselves. So let's move on to another section. The prospect, when seeking out the service, wonder who are the real people behind all the smoke and mirrors. And having Meet Our Team section is a very effective way to give your business an accessible face. And prospects will be glad to learn who exactly they will be working with. So this image consists of text and image content that we already know how to change. But there is another thing to remember when dealing with images on the website. It is good practice to add alternative text for images. And so to do this, we need to click on the image, click on the edit, click on change image, and right here the alternative text. Well, in this case, it's going to be the name of the person. So this will tell search engines what the image is about, and in turn it will help this image to appear in image search results in Google. And it will can help you to bring extra traffic, search traffic in return. Also, it will allow people with visual impairments who use screen readers to browse the website to understand what your website, like what this image is. And other sections of this page and other pages can be customized using the same approaches, and we're already running out of time. So I won't be doing that, and instead let's check the global page settings. We need to go to this drop-down menu on the left, and here we can see a list of website pages. And here's another benefit of using a template. It gives us the lowdown on pages that are anticipated on the website. We can add new pages here. We can duplicate existing pages or delete them. Or in order to open another page in edit mode, let's say this about page, we just need to click on it like this. And let's check which metadata we have control over by going to this settings. So here we can change the page URL, and according to the best practices, the page URL should be human readable, and if it has several words, they should be separated with hyphens. Also, they should be all lowercase, and the page URL should be concise, not make it too long. And the rule of thumb is, if you understand what your page is about just by reading the URL, your URL probably looks good. Also, you can change the page meta title and meta description, and this is not going to be really visible on the page itself, but it is relevant to search engines. The search engines, they analyze the information written in page meta title and meta description along with the content of the page to get a comprehensive understanding of what the page is about. So what you write here, it has to be aligned with the rest of the page. Also, this information will be shown in the search results in Google. So make sure you wrote it for your potential website visitors and make it appealing. And if you remember, when you share a link, for example, to a YouTube video, it has a thumbnail preview and with description and title. And here you can create such thumbnail preview for links from your website. So you can add, upload the thumbnail preview here, add page title here and description here, and this will be shown on social media whenever the link to your website will be shared. So which will make links from your website to look good and to stand out. And as you probably know, nowadays most of the traffic, it comes from mobile devices. So it is crucial for modern websites to look good on small screens. And as you can see by using this preview modes, your website is already mobile responsive and no additional work is required. And once you decide to go live, you can just click on publish, choose the URL that is not occupied, and confirm publishing. Like this. Of course, there is a lot more to the platform that we haven't covered, but at the same time, we covered very basics that will help you to get started. And let me wrap up. Building a nice website for your handyman business is one of the most important things that you can do for a business promotion. Not just it helps you to showcase your services, it will also help you to build trust with potential and existing customers. It will also help to attract new customers consistently. And good website can make a big difference, and is going to be a huge step towards a thriving business with a booked schedule. And with the Boxmode, creating a website is easier than ever. And obviously, we are not the first website builder on the market, and occasionally we receive questions about our differences with other website builders. So what is special about us? We have a dedicated customer support team, and our support team training, it includes basics of web development, web design, search engine optimization, and this level of training improve standards in consultation with customers. We have a free plan, and the instruments I showed you are free of charge, and this also includes you connecting your own custom domain if you have one. Of course, our free version has certain limits, but it is sufficient enough to test the platform. And if you decide to upgrade, you will get a free custom domain for 1 year, 5 gigabytes of storage, you will get a chat support, and also the Boxmode branding will be removed. So this is it for the main part, and now let's go to the questions. Let me open the chat. We have a comment from Facebook. Would like to hear some advantages compared to other website builders. Well, I can tell you about the SEO features of our website builder. And on the top of what we discussed is that you have the access to the page meta title and meta description. You also can enter the page meta keywords. Arguably, this meta keywords are obsolete, but some still use them. Also, you can add the canonical links. You can block pages from being indexed in search engines. Also, you can disallow link crawling. So these are the basic things that we have here, and as well you have access to, if you go to the project settings, you will get access to the robust.txt file and the sitemap. The sitemap is generated automatically, but if you want to moderate it, to edit it, it's here, it's possible. Question from Alex: what if I don't want to have the Boxmode standard domain extension? Yeah, if you don't want to have a Boxmode standard domain extension, you can connect your own custom domain. If you have one, if you purchased one, for example, from GoDaddy, you just need to set these DNS settings by using the following parameters and using these step-by-step instructions. And as I mentioned, if you purchase a basic subscription, you'll get a free domain for 1 year. Or if you want just to purchase a domain, we also have the service. You can type whatever domain you would like to purchase, and the system will provide you with a list of possible choices to pick from with the respective prices, like this. A question from John: how can I show where my office is on the map? Thanks for the question. We have a map widget, and let me open the project back. Let's go to open the editor. Let me read another question in the meantime. What are the limitations of the free version? Okay, John, so in order to add the map, we just need to again click on this plus sign on the left, choose the map widget we want to add, like grab it and drop it where we want it to be, like here, for example. And to pin your location of your workshop or office, you can just click on the map, go to the settings, and just start typing here the address, and it's going to be automatically added to the map like this. And as for limitations of a free version, Mary, without like the free version allows you having only 1 gigabyte of storage. Also, you will have the Boxmode branding, so you'll see the powered by Boxmode pop up on the top of your website. And when you subscribe, this branding will be removed. Question from Marina: are there many different templates for construction companies? Marina, as I mentioned in the beginning, that the template basically any template can be customized to fit any use case. But if we are talking about construction company, we have like this template. These templates also can be used. But any other template can also be reconstructed to fit the construction company use case. You can check out which templates we have. If you go to the box mode and go to the templates, you'll be able to see all the templates that we have to offer. Question from Robert: do you offer any monetization tools? Yeah, Robert, in terms of monetization tools, we have a PayPal button that can be added on the page by following the same flow. We just choose the button we want to add, grab it, and drop it like this. And we are working on the online store functionality, and it's going to be implemented soon in the nearest platform interactions. So you will be able to merchandise physical goods with the online shop functionality. Well, thanks for being active in the chat. I appreciate all of your questions. Let me know if you have any other questions. And to stay tuned for recent platform updates, for our plans, for our news, etc., you can join our Facebook community. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and you will find links to them in the description to this video. And also my colleague will share it with you in the chat. A question from Rob: is everything written in HTML? Is it possible to insert codes? Is it accessible by Google Spider? Rob, yes, obviously all websites are written using the HTML language. It's a like standard language of the web. As for inserting codes at this moment, it's not possible, but it is going to be available in the next platform iteration. You'll be able to insert custom HTML codes on the anywhere on the website where you need. And as for accessibility by spiders, of course, all our website can be crawled by Google and other search engine spiders. So yes. Let me know if you have any other questions. Well, I see that we don't have any more questions, and once again, I really do appreciate you coming to this webinar, and I hope you learned something new today and it was interesting. And I wish you all the best, and see you next time. Goodbye.